So here we go. It's the Kopite podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Kopite podcast, and I'm Matt, joined as usual by Mick. How you doing, Mick? You look rough.
Grim, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went a bit overboard last night with the festivities.
Buzzing after the win, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, definitely. What a win, boss. What a win that was then.
Oh, you stole that. I was going to say that. And me and Mick are joined down below by Tim.
What's up, guys? Not too bad. Yeah, pretty happy after yesterday. I can't lie. Yeah, good. As Mick said, pretty solid win. You know, not our best, but
yeah, it was. I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? We definitely struggled to get going, didn't we? So Mick, I'll come on to you then. What a win that was. Then you've already said that, so go on, explain it.
Well, it's good, wasn't it? The first half, like I was speaking to the Palace fan we had on during half time, and he was like, "That's what Liverpool can do to you." But like, there's the chances they had, like the IU one where he's front Alisson, and goes and then passes it, and he's not. Just like that, you've got to score them, especially against us when we're like we've got a makeshift back two. Like Matip's obviously is in there because he's our only senior one, but Firmino's been great there. But I don't know if those type of things happen if Van Dijk and Gomez there. I think it's a bit different when you've got them two fellas back there. But even still, like if you don't put those chances away against us, we're going to punish you at the end of the day. So you've got to make them count, and they didn't, and then we just started to click into gear even more after that.
Yeah, I mean, Palace definitely had their chances. Like, it's weird because it wasn't, at least the first half wasn't as routine as you would have thought it was. Like when you look back at a recent 7-goal game that we were involved in, which was the Villa loss, we definitely deserved to lose 7-0 or however much, it was 7-2, and Villa were definitely that much better than us. But for the first half, we weren't as dominant as the scoreline would have suggested, were we, Tim?
Yeah, I think the difference between us and Palace was that we were just ruthless in front of goal. I mean, we had 3 shots. Both teams at halftime had 3 shots on target. We scored our 3 and they didn't. You know, part of it again down to Alisson having great hands. He caught absolutely everything. I think that he had to deal with. He caught. But I mean, we were just back to our best in front of goal. I think that if you look at the season on a whole and you look at the form our front 3 has been back in, I think as fans we've been waiting for this because it's been coming. You know, we've been getting closer and closer and closer, and we showed signs of it against the likes of Wolves and Leicester City. But I mean, I had us winning 4-0 yesterday. I thought Palace had been a really quite an inconsistent club. I think they'd been quite good recently, so I think they were having had a tough schedule with West Ham and Tottenham and stuff. I figured that they were probably going to have some tired legs and collapse against us. So I had us winning 4-0, but 7 was, I still couldn't quite believe it when I looked at the final score, to be honest. So.
Yeah, so we'll start talking about the goals then. It was a match as well, full of like random, like just little moments. You know, we had Ox coming back, the lads broke records, and Taki's first Premier League goal. We've been waiting for this for a while, haven't we, Mick?
It's been a while, yeah. And I mean, went to the pub to watch it, and they done like a little on BT Sport, done like a little piece on Taki about him coming in and like his transfer fee, and he's not been getting enough playing time, and he hasn't scored yet. And I was like, after all that, he's going to go and score the first goal now, and he did. I was like, it was a great goal as well. Like when Mane plays it into him, you're thinking it's at first time, and he takes a touch, and you're thinking, oh, the chance is gone now. And then the first touch actually is really good, and then he just absolutely belts it bottom corner, and that was the perfect way to set us up, wasn't it, for the rest of the game? That was what, 3 minutes in? I forgot it was that early, that goal. I mean, like, we got it quite early, didn't we? So like those chances, like I just touched on the IU one and stuff, were kind of flitted in between them. But like I'm just remembering now, like it was 3-0 at half time. I didn't realise it was that much. Maybe I was just enjoying myself too much with loads of beers. That was it, probably.
You said there as well when he got the ball from Mane, I for one thought he hit it first time, and we didn't hit it first time. I sort of threw my hands up in the air, and I was like, damn, like chance is gone. Yeah. But he immediately sat down Nathaniel Klein and then smashed it past Guaita, and I thought, okay, great, nice. But I still didn't expect the floodgates to open as they did. Tim?
Well, I mean, again, I'll reiterate the point that Mick just made. I think we're all happy for Taki. I think it's been a long time coming. We saw his ability when he played against us, and it's kind of he's been knocking on the door a bit. He looked good in the preseason, and you think that maybe he's starting. He might get into a game here, and this is a perfect chance for him to get his goal. And as Mick said, within 3 minutes he's gone and bagged it, taking it really, really nicely. But from then on in, it was just the Roberto Firmino show, basically. I mean, he completely took over the game. For all the criticism he's received from all the people saying, "Oh, we need a poacher there, we need another goal scorer," that's why we have him there, because he knits play together like no one else does. He is unbelievably controlled on the ball. He makes the right decision 10 times out of 10. And my word, what a touch that was coming from the ball coming in from Robertson to set himself up to just place it in. Honestly, I thought he was being cheeky. I thought he no-looked it when he finished it. So I thought he had back to proper Bobby. But honestly, what a performance from him.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And to be fair, that goal was my favourite of the day. But before scoring that, he goes and assists Mane for the second. And it's a bit of a scramble outside the box. And it just falls to Bobby. And out of all the players you want it to fall to, you want it to be him. And he just sort of just flicks it into Mane's path. And Mane's gone on a bit of a dry spell. And it's just nice to see him back amongst the goals, isn't it?
Yeah, like you said, that little touch for him, they couldn't have felt it anyone better. And he's got that presence of mind, hasn't he, on the edge of the box, not to panic. Little ball into Mane, and then Mane absolutely slots it, and that's what we've needed. Like a goal for Taki, we needed that. A goal for Mane, we needed that. A couple of goals for Firmino and assists, we needed that. Like Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back, we needed that. There was just so many. The scorelines, sometimes it's not an afterthought, but it's kind of like we deserved that for all that good work. But there were so many good things that we needed along the way to kind of help us in future games. I mean, like we said after the Spurs one, that will hopefully push Bobby on that winner he got in the last minute. And if he plays like that all season, like he did yesterday, Jesus Christ, he was unbelievable. Like just his presence of mind, like that. Like you said, that third goal is probably my favourite as well. But it starts from his counter attack and flick over to the left, doesn't it? And then he's just that first touch and then to knock it past the keeper is just like maybe like 4 or 5 weeks ago he maybe fluffs that and it goes straight down the middle and we're all going, for fuck's sake, why is he not finishing? But that was the Bobby what we all know and love there. And like you said, also for Mane, it was great. And then I think that was proven by Mane when he came off. He wasn't too happy, was he? I thought for a minute he was going to pull a Kepa and just go, bring someone else off. But no, thank God he went off. Obviously, no one wants it. Like it was the same with Salah the other week, wasn't it? When Salah came off, he was. But I prefer to see that. I don't want players just to come off and be all happy. They want to stay on and score goals. They could obviously see that there's a chance to get a load of goals here and get themselves up the goal scoring charts, and that's what Salah did towards the end. I think he's on 13 now. He's outright top goal scorer, which is we haven't even touched on Salah yet because he hasn't even came on the pitch in terms of where we're up to. But what a game he had in those 30 odd minutes he was on. Yeah,
it's just everyone played well, and Bobby, like you said, favourite goal as well. I think what gets me about that is his desire just to he starts the play and then just sprints to the edge of the area, picks it up, takes a touch, hits it past Guaita. And at that moment, it was a bit of the same as my reaction when Taki scored. When Bobby took the touch, I was like, no, like first time. And then I realised it was Bobby, and I was like, actually, I think he's pretty safe with his touch here. And he just slots it past the keeper, and I was like, ooh, that one's going to take some beating. And in my opinion, none of our goals after that beat that goal. So we go in 3-0 up, looking quite comfy. But at the end of the day, we all know one goal for Palace can change everything. And Palace started the second half relatively well, considering they kept the ball for the first 5 minutes, and we didn't really get a touch of it. And then as soon as we get the ball, we just break again down the left, get switched to Trent, and then Trent feeds Henderson for what is usually prime area for Henderson to put a cross into the back post. But I guess he's just thought, you know what, why not? And he just leathers it into the corner, doesn't he, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, what is becoming a typical Henderson goal, going either across the goalkeeper, but he's got a habit of putting them in the top corner at this point from that kind of range. Yeah, and again, a well-deserved goal from Henderson. I think that a lot of his work is underrated. A lot of his positional play is superb. Him dropping deep allows our fullbacks to get forward and have the effect on the game that they do. And yeah, it's just a captain's goal. He deserved it. He's been crucial coming back into the squad since his injury with England. And it's a superbly well taken goal. Part of me wanted Trent to volley it first time because I thought, oh my God, this is set up perfectly for him. But great awareness to kind of bring it down and lay it off to Henderson, and what a finish,
Yeah, it was amazing. And then, we actually something we haven't touched on, and let's take a break from the goals for a minute, Mick. No injuries this match. That's a bit of a shock, isn't it?
Yeah, no injuries, no VAR messing around. It felt like a good boss game pre-VAR. That's what it felt like, because there was no interruptions. Every time, obviously, we scored, I was still like, right, I'm not celebrating properly just in case. And then, obviously, when you see the side angles, you're like, oh, thank God he's on. I think that happened for pretty much all of them, where I was panicking for a sec that one of them might be off. But yeah, no injuries, and like we said, Ox back as well. Come back on for another. I think he was on for about 15 minutes, weren't he? I thought Keita was a little bit wasteful sometimes in the first half, but he still looked overall. That was a good game for him to come back in, and you know how good he is carrying the ball from deep. He's one of the best at it, and he always seems to pick the right pass. So that was another one that's come back into the squad. And Curtis Jones came on late as well, didn't he? So there's so many options in that midfield, and like you said, no injuries. That was the best thing we could have hoped for, especially with games coming thick and fast now.
Well, then that's 4-0 up. Salah gets introduced, so for Crystal Palace is probably thinking, we can't catch a break here. Mo comes on, and it just turns into the Mo Salah show, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it just, what's worrying for me is to think that he did all, he had 2 goals, one that, I mean, almost kind of hit him more than he hit it, and then the second goal that he took sublimely, it kind of like throwback to Chelsea a couple of years ago. It was of that quality, but it's just scary to think what he could have done over 90 minutes. 2 goals and an assist in half an hour, and it didn't even look like he broke a sweat. It's typical Mo. He's back to that form that he was in when he first came to the club, and everyone was astounded with the fact that he just could not stop scoring. And he's back in that sort of world class, world-beating form. And I think, if we continue this way, if we can continue, I think Bobby Firmino being the key to this offense, to this attack, to this front three, because he opens everything up for the other two. If he can continue on form, the limits for Mo and Mane in terms of goal numbers and stuff for the season are just going to go through the ceiling. And especially when he's not being wasteful in front of goal, and he gets a chance from 25 yards out and he's bent it into the top corner. So all the best signs today. Yesterday, even though.
Yeah, obviously the goals are great. I'm glad to see him assisting as well, just because he gets labelled. I mean, by Liverpool fans, but as well smashed by rival fans for being greedy and wasteful, like on the ball when he should be passing it. And he gives Bobby a ball, and then Bobby just goes and just dinks the keeper like it's no one else's business. It's just the goal was just oozed Bobby Firmino, didn't it?
Yeah, and I think even that assist, I think that's underrated how good that is, because he's perfect weight. Like, you think for a second, oh wait, the defender's just going to cut that out, but he's played it just with enough speed, just enough curl, just enough weight that it just finds its way perfectly through. And then that's just Bobby. Like, when Bobby's on top form, he's going to score there, left-footed chip over the keeper, and it's just like, if it would have, the game would have ended there, you would have been like what a performance. But then still, Salah's goals to come, and it's just, yeah, Mo in that form as well. It's just like, in half an hour he's done that much damage. I think that's the first time for Liverpool's history, I don't know, it's Premier League, that someone's came off the bench and scored 2 and got an assist in half an hour. So that's like mental. And like the numbers that he puts up, like Tim said, is just, I don't think he's ever going to get the credit for it until maybe when he leaves. But like, as long as we're appreciating him now, he's unbelievable. Like, you can't, when he's in that type of form, you can't defend against him. Like, because he can go either way. He's got like you said, his passing doesn't get valued enough. I think he proved that in that assist for Bobby.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, obviously he gets his first goal, which is that coming from that corner. I was surprised throughout the game because I thought like Palace have like a significant height advantage, and we dealt with their corners quite easily. It didn't really look threatened. Alisson was solid. The defense was relatively solid as well, especially from corners. But I never expected us to score from a corner, let alone scoring, or let alone it being Salah, who's probably one of the shortest players on the pitch, scoring from a corner. But it all comes from the fact that Palace just let Joel Matip, our biggest aerial threat, get his head on the ball relatively unchallenged. It's quite weird, isn't it, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, that was what, goal number 6, right? I mean, I think at that point Crystal Palace had kind of had enough of it and were ready for the final whistle to go in the 80th minute, whatever it was. That they had enough on the day. And I mean, one of the pundits was saying that you could criticize Van Aanholt for not closing down Mo Salah for his last goal, but why would you? Like you're 6-0 down. You're not really going to make that extra effort with tired legs, having played 4 games in 2 weeks, and make that extra effort to get out to something that's not really going to affect the final result. So, I mean, listen, you still got to go and get your head on the ball. Mo's still got to react and place that ball where Guaita can't get it. So you can't really take anything away from the Liverpool players because you still have to go out and perform the skill. But yeah, I think Crystal Palace by 4-5 had kind of had enough of the afternoon.
Yeah.
To be fair, I agree with you completely, and I think this, in some respect, I think Liverpool, maybe Salah was just like, you know what, for his second goal, for the shot, which is thinking, look, we're 6-0 up. I'm going to try it. Let's see if it comes off. I think if it's 1-1 or we're 1-0 up, I don't think he tries it. But I think he's just, you see it in his, he just slows play down, just takes the ball out, and it's just a sort of, I'll give it a go.
Yeah,
it rips the net.
Yeah, I think he doesn't. He does try shots like that, but it's been a while since we've seen him get it on the edge of the box and curl one top corner. It feels like, I don't know if someone can tell me in the comments, but I can't remember. I always just think of the Roma one where he obviously Alisson's in goal for them, but there's a few of them where he does do that, and you just think, wow, that's just special. But like you said, I think it was probably because we were 6-0 up, and the pressure's off. Like it's not like we were 0-0 and we needed the goal. That'd be more special if we did it for them, but there's no pressure in terms of just go, right, let's just bang this top goal, and that's what he did. And it's just like, I was thinking, well, not sure that should be worried about fancy point, but I have Mo Salah as my captain, and I thought, after the first half, I was like, he's not even going to come on probably because we're going to win 5-6-0 without him. Then he comes on and gets 2 goals and assist, and I was like, get in, nice one, extra points for me.
I captain stupidly because. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why I took him off captain, but yeah, I think I had Calvert-Lewin as captain, and then that didn't turn out too well either. So yeah, but anyway, that's 7-0. Smashed it, top of the table. Tottenham have just lost as well, so perfect.
The best team in the league just lost again 2-0.
It basically is what it is, isn't it? Mourinho shouldn't be spouting off his mouth if he hasn't got the capability to back it up. And when we said this before the Tottenham match, if they lost, it was going to be key to see how they reacted. And they didn't just lose to Liverpool in a normal way. It was 90 minutes in the 90th minute to the crucial goal to come in the 90th minute. It's going to take it out of you that little bit more, isn't it? Either of you.
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, Tottenham are by a mile going through their most difficult stretch of games in terms of their opponents. So, I mean, they played Man City, followed by Chelsea, then Arsenal, which, although Arsenal are what they are at the moment, is still a derby game, so form kind of goes out the window. They then followed it up with Crystal Palace, and then Liverpool, then Leicester, and I believe the next game is Wolves. That is a serious stretch of games. And I figured that if they got out of that stretch and they had won the majority of those games, that we could start seriously looking at them as title contenders and a Mourinho team that was kind of to be reckoned with. But they've won one of their last 5, drawn 2, and lost 2, and I think that will now start to take a hit of their confidence. And potentially bolster Liverpool's, especially after this weekend, having Palace draw against the likes of West Ham and Tottenham, to then go there and smash them in the fashion that we did, with the players picking up goals, with the players picking up minutes that we need to in order to progress towards the team that we've seen for the last 2 to 3 years that have been blowing teams off, running around teams like it's nothing. So I think overall, if you were to look at this weekend from a Liverpool fan's perspective, I think it couldn't really have gone much better. I mean, listen, fingers crossed Leeds go and thrash Man United now, but yeah. I
mean, I think one of the most impressive things for me that I found after this match against Palace is that, firstly, Palace on a bad side. There's something to be said about putting 7 goals past Crystal Palace. And also, it's a Roy Hodgson team. Like, Roy Hodgson's made a career of making sure that defenses are somewhat tight. Roy Hodgson isn't a manager that concedes 7 goals willy-nilly left, right, and centre. Like, this is what he makes a living doing. So it is impressive to see that we could put 7 past them, especially considering how, maybe toothless is the wrong word, but how many chances we spurned against Tottenham. It was just good to see the guys so clinical, wasn't it, Mick?
Yeah, it was, and it's that like I think Henderson said it in his post match that we had that coming for a long time. Like I know we all, when we've been getting by okay, but I think when we look back at this season, hopefully when we're champions, we can say like that we went through that difficult spell where we lost all those players, and look at that run we went on, beating Spurs last minute. Like Tim said, that has a major effect on teams. Like if you can see that late against your nearest rivals for the title at the moment, then that has a huge psychological effect, and I think that's you can see that in that Leicester game. I mean, I didn't watch it because I was trying to sleep off my hangover a little bit, but losing 2-0 at home to Leicester, I mean, well in Brendan Rodgers, but that's just, we're now 5 points clear of them. 6 points clear of them. Leicester are on 27, 4 points off, and Everton are 5 points off. So yeah, it's just and they've got, I think, like you said, Tim, they've got Wolves coming up, haven't they? So that's not going to be easy. And I think they've got Leeds as well coming up. So doesn't get any easier. I mean, Leeds proved and have proved this season that they can play with amongst the best of them. Like we barely got over the line with that 4-3, didn't we? So no, it's we just need to keep going. We just need to keep going and getting these players back in, like Ox and Keita coming back in, and then Thiago should be back in training maybe next week, I hope. And then once he comes into that team, but it's an entirely different prospect, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%. Thiago's only going to improve this squad going forward. Ideally, we'd have him back for the next game, which is West Brom, because that's going to be a bit more of a... Well, you think it's going to be a bit tougher, especially with Big Sam. They're going to organise them in a back 10 probably. But what do you expect him?
Yeah, well, it's always tough, especially when a team is likely always to get a little bit of a bump from having a new manager and stuff. I think that with a manager as experienced as Big Sam coming in, you've always got the kind of the belief there that you're probably going to pick up points that you shouldn't. But I think that it's the wrong time to play Liverpool right now. I just think it is. I think that Liverpool, having gone through that stretch, that draw against Fulham, that draw against Brighton, having put 7 past Palace, I think that with the way Klopp prepares this team, I think the last thing they're going to do now, especially having dropped drop points in those 2 games, is come in and be complacent against a side that they know will be dangerous because of that new situation. But yeah, all of those things aside, when you look at Liverpool's form, I mean, you've got to start asking questions like, do we actually need a centre-back in January? Do we really need to pull one in? Because, I mean, for me at the moment, Fabinho's come in to centre-back and been a top 5 centre-back in the league.
Yeah,
We've conceded 6 goals in our last 9 games since Van Dijk went down, which is probably up there in the top 2 or 3 in the league. And you got to look at that and start to think that this squad has a bit too much quality now. That if they go into a game like West Brom fully prepped, that's a dangerous one, that they will get the job done. So yeah, I'm confident going in, but it's just one of those where you just you don't want to put all your chips on the table.
Yeah, I mean, I'd echo everything you've just said. The only thing that I'd maybe caveat is the only reason that I'd still get a centre back is just because of Matip's injury record. But if you're just judging it based on the quality of our two centre-backs at the moment, which is Matip and Fabinho, then I don't reckon we'd need one if Matip could stay fit. But I'd bring one in just in case. I don't want to be in a situation where Matip picks up a massive injury, which is likely. Like, I know that this is the first time in what seems like forever that we actually have is it a week break until the next game?
8 days, isn't it, I think?
It's the first time that we haven't had like a 3-day gap game, 4-day gap game. Matip picked up an injury getting out of bed. So I'd like the cover. But just lastly, Mick, just to touch on, do you think that this little break that the players are going to get now, you think that's going to really prove key when facing the fat man?
It is, and Dan's just put a little comment there. Big Sam will spend the week sharpening elbows, which will be true. But they'll be majorly up for it, and we've just got to show the same determination and fight that we showed against Palace yesterday. Because like no team in world football can put up with that, I believe, if once we're in that type of form and in that type of synchronized, just the pressing and just everything. You can't. There's no one in the world that can deal with it when we're on top form. In terms of the centre back as well, I don't know what he's going to do. Like, it would be nice to get a centre half, but I don't think he's gonna. He's either going to splash out and get someone that he's got on the list and maybe pay a premium in January. I don't think he's going to get someone in. He's not going to get like a Ragnar Klavan, is he? Like someone like that, because we've still got Nat Phillips and Reece Williams on the bench, who when they've came in and when they've been called on, they've both been boss. I don't know if he thinks maybe let's just try and keep Matip wrapped in cotton wool and play him maybe every other game and alternate with the other two that were on the bench. Keep Fabinho in there. It all depends on if Matip and Fabinho, if we can keep them both fit. If we get an injury to both of them and then we're having to play Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, that's where you'll see a bigger downturn in terms of our progression with the ball out from the back with those two, because they need at least one senior centre half beside them to make us tick the same way as we usually do. So it's all dependent on injuries. I mean, pray to God we don't get any, but like looking at the bench here, you can have 9 people on the bench now, can't you? So we had like Neco Williams, Nat Phillips, Reece Williams, Divock, Adrian and Kelleher, who all didn't come on yesterday. So, I mean, that's 2 keepers there, but there's still a few players there that can come into things and can shake it up. And I mean, I think Klopp said, I don't know when he said it, but it was recently, he said about Minamino being like one of the leaders, like in training, like not complaining about anything. And when he gets called on to play in midfield, he just embraces it. He doesn't throw a strop. He just tries to be the best he can be. And I think that's a great example. And I think that's something that he can be really key. I mean, we've talked a load recently about him, haven't we, Minamino, about like, is he cut out? Is he gonna be a Klopp failure as a signing, which there isn't any of them really, apart from if you go towards the early days. But I think he proved yesterday, and I think he proved in the Fulham game when he came on, that he can have a big impact on this squad and on this team, because he's one of them where he can play him anywhere and he'll give it 100%. It's just getting him in front of goal and scoring goals like he did yesterday, and that's just going to give him a world of confidence. But yeah, next Sunday now is West Brom. I think it's 4:30 at home. So fans still in the stadium at Anfield, so that's going to have an effect as well. So I think if we play anywhere, even if we play 70% as good as we did yesterday, we should be able to blow them away pretty easy. I'm open.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree more. Agree with everything you said. Anything that you want to add, Tim, to what Mick said, or has he pretty much covered it?
He's covered it. I mean, I've got a question for you actually, Matt. In terms of going forward, in terms of the future rather than actually just attacking play. With Thiago coming back and with Van Dijk likely to return kind of late February, early March, would you stick with Fabinho at the back and play Gini, Hendo and Thiago in the midfield rather than playing Joe Gomez because of how well he's played at the back?
Yeah, I think given how Fabi's been playing, look, I rate Joe Gomez. I think Joe Gomez on his day is brilliant. But what we've seen at the start of this season, maybe towards the back end of last season after lockdown, was that Joe Gomez was not the same. He wasn't at his highest. And when he's not at his highest, there are weaknesses in his game that he's young, that he'll iron out. But at the moment, I think Fabinho is a superior defender. I mean, that's not an insult to Joe Gomez. Fabinho is a beast in midfield. Fabinho is a beast at centre back. I said, I think it said at the start of the season that I thought our centre back pairing at the end of the season would be Van Dijk and Fabinho. Now that's not going to happen, but just because of Virgil's injury. But I do think that if Gini stays, then our midfield three could be Gini, Hendo, Thiago, and our back four would include Van Dijk and Fabinho. But I guess we'll see that. What do you think, Mick?
I think it all depends on injuries. I don't know what's going on with Gomez. Because that's quite a specific injury to quite a weird area in it. Like the patella, like it depends on when he's going to come back. It could be middle of next year. It could be. I honestly don't know. I haven't got a clue. Like with Van Dijk, I think there's more of a clear line about where a zone, what month he could come back. Between these 3 months, he'll come back. With Gomez, I think it's just kind of like maybe in the next year. There's no pressure on it. But yeah, I think in terms of centre half, like I think if everyone was fit, I would still put Gomez and Van Dijk at centre back, because I still think Fabinho as a pivot in front of the back four, he can make us tick from there. Even if you put, I don't know, like when thinking now of all the players we have on the fit, it's really difficult to try and fit them all in. That's the thing. But
I think that what happens with Gini is going to be key.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
What happens going forward, because I think if Gini stays, I don't think they're going to give Gini a big contract to sit him on the bench. You can't see Thiago sitting on the bench, and we've seen how vital Jordan Henderson has become to this team. He definitely can't be on the bench. If Gini stays, then I think we kind of have to put Fabinho at centre back, because how else with the other two?
Yeah, I suppose if you have Thiago as a six and then Hendo on the right, Gini on the left, and Fabinho and Van Dijk as a centre half pair, and that's the stuff dreams are made of, isn't it? That is just unbelievable. But then there's like, if Gomez and Matip are fit, Matip won't be happy with the bench role as much as Joe Gomez will, and I don't know. It's all about, like you said, if Gini stays, how long Gomez is out for. If we can keep personnel fit, if Van Dijk comes back early, there's just loads of variables that we just don't know yet that could affect it. And I think if everyone comes back and if Gini stays, you might even see Joe Matip leave. I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know what's going to happen, because he's another one of them. Like if he doesn't stay fit often enough, I mean, I think he's 30 next year, and next summer, I think. Yeah. So he's getting on. He's the wrong side. He's going to be the wrong side of 30 soon. So I don't know if he keeps getting these niggling injuries. I don't know if Klopp might start being a bit more ruthless in terms of not just keeping a player around because they're a good fella, like Adam Lallana. I mean, it wasn't just because of that. He was a great trainer and obviously was great in the dressing room for the rest of the lads. But Matip might be one that you look to go, right, we're going to have to sacrifice someone. And if you sacrifice neither Matip or Gomez, it's going to be Matip for me, because Gomez has got 22? Or 23, sorry. He's got a huge career ahead of him. It's just whether he comes back the same player, because that's, like I said, the injury is really specific and it could have a knock-on effect in terms of his ability. Could talk for days about it, but it all depends on what happens. So we'll just have to see, won't we?
I think what's very telling is the fact that this is all to come. These headaches are the kind of headaches that managers want to have. It's a headache because these players are such high caliber, and we haven't got them in the squad yet, and we're still 4 points clear at the top of the league.
Yeah,
I think that's a perfect way to end it. So I'd like to thank Tim again for coming on. Second appearance. He'll be getting a match ball soon when he gets his third. Thanks again to Mr. Michael. We'll let you go recover from your hangover. Yeah, this is it. And enjoy your Christmas, guys.
Yeah, we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.